All right, guys, some crypto talk on the go. Are we fucked? What do you guys think? All right, like where we're going right now in the market after pretty much having our butts handed to us a few times, right? Last week, the major liquidation, largest one of all time, 19.3 billion dollars liquidated out. There was about almost $500 billion left the market between liquidations and then panic selling or taking profits, hopefully for some people. We just had a big Ethereum leverage liquidation. US banks are in a little bit of a crisis, and everyone's still being promised an alt season. Where's your mind at, guys? What do you think? Because at this point, it's really two options in the next month, in my view. Either the Bears won and we never had a real alt season, and the cycle has completely changed. Those could be two different things, by the way. I guess the Bears could win for now. And also possibly there's an altcoin season change or cycle change, and we're going to have something completely different happen later that's very bullish. So I guess that's two options. And the other one is, I guess maybe it's still the same as the last one I just said, and we get a major rebound like last cycle when it dropped 53 to 57% in a couple of weeks. We could be going from that too. All right, so obviously no one effing knows, right? We're all either geniuses or extremely retarded. It all kind of depends on the timing of the market and what happens afterwards, right? So we have no idea. My thoughts are we're still in a bull market until proven otherwise. All right, and if you're shouting out, but there's proof, there's really not, though. There's a lot of fear. We have potential setups for it. I'm not going to lie. It's not like I can sit here and tell you guys, oh, yeah, Bitcoin down to 105 is a good thing for us. I can tell you it's not abnormal. I can also tell you it's scary as hell. Having up to about a 30% retest for Bitcoin in a bull market, which would put Bitcoin around 90,000, is not abnormal. It's just scary with everything else that we're fixated on going on. But all the FUD is pretty obvious, right? So let's point out some of the less obvious things in the other direction. The entire Trump family, their company, Fink, Strategy, a lot of banks and a lot of other people with so many more digits and decimals bought higher than we have now for not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum and ETFs. And if they lost money, literally everything's going down. Right? I mean, if BlackRock, Strategy, Royal Liberty, and the Trumps, and name anyone else that you want, ends up losing money because everything crashes, the whole economy's down. That's not meant to be scary. That's more meant to be like, you really think it's going to happen? Idea of tariffs for the 17th time this year, exaggeration, but probably not by too much, of the trade wars between China and US. They're going to settle, because otherwise there'd be a trade war, and that's bad for everyone's economy, and everyone knows this. They're not going to tank everything to where we're all living out of cardboard boxes. It'll be settled. Gold and stocks are doing very well, right? Even with banks seeming a little questionable right now, gold and stocks are doing well because everyone's chasing them. They feel they're safe. What happens when people chase an asset? People sell for profits, right? So I thought a lot about chasing into gold when it was about $1,000 cheaper than now. Obviously, I think they're like, wow, I wish I would have jumped into it. Who the hell cares? I didn't, right? But people are going to take profits, and gold is going to slow down and retrace soon, or at least I would assume so. I'd be shocked if it goes too much higher. Probably a little bit. But everyone's chasing those because they're doing well. Now let's flip that. What happens when people chase crypto when crypto is doing well, right? That's called exit liquidity for everybody else, right? We see that for us with crypto, but we seem to forget that is going to happen soon with stocks and gold, or at least I think it will. So, do I have any concern about the bull market? Yeah, a little bit. I'll be honest, a little bit, specifically for the micro caps and altcoins. And this is where I really hope that, for the most part, you guys have only put in what you can afford to lose. All right, just in case. And realize you only lose money if you sell. You also only make money if you sell, so keep that in mind too. But with everything's going on, could we be entering the bear market? We could. I don't think we are, but we could. Because everything can always go lower. But this is where you got to make your own decisions and decide for yourself what you think is going to happen. If I get sold on the idea that crypto alt season is over, I'll let you guys know. It'll be obvious. I'm sure everyone else will be doing the exact same thing. But crypto can get fucking scary, guys. Right? I mean, when you see your the just percentage of your portfolio drop, it can be a little hard to handle. So, but what does it actually matter? I know, what kind of arrogant fucking comment is that? What does it matter if you're losing a lot of money? You haven't lost money yet unless you sold. Right? My portfolio is down a lot from a month ago. I'm happy with the way things were set up. I'm not happy with seeing the decrease that's happened. But I'm hanging in and I'm waiting. I did mild de-risk, as a lot of you guys know. I traded out Cadi for Solana. I got Cadi on the up and bought Solana as it was falling knife. It wasn't an awful entry. I'm okay with it. If we have any resemblance of the market coming back and going a bull run, that's going to be fine. So at the very least, guys, think about what can you do to make yourselves feel better without exiting the market, unless that's really what you want. And guys, if you do exit the market, obviously nothing here is financial advice, but you should probably stay out of the market, in my opinion. Because if we get out of the market right now, and presuming you're taking a loss, right? If people sell right now, and you're in the green, you're less in the green than you were a month ago. So most people that are selling right now are taking a small loss. So what are you going to do? Come back in when prices drop? If you do, calculate how much prices have to drop for when you come back in, you haven't lost more money. Right? Because if you sell in the red, buying in the red, it has to be red enough for it to be where you're kind of technically up, so to speak. So do your math. Have a plan if you're going to get out. Don't do things emotionally. That includes buying or selling, right, guys? So I guess the whole little point about this rant this morning, which I didn't intend on doing, was I just saw a bunch of fear going on Twitter, through comments both on my channel and several others, through Reddit. And yeah, everyone's panicking about crypto. It's not about the economy. It's about crypto. And that's the part that has kept me fully in. Is the economy's not bad. We're not going into a recession. The banks are collapsing, but gold and stocks are still going up and doing incredibly well. I am very curious what all of your guys' thoughts are. What do you believe is happening in the market, and are you doing anything about it? Meaning, if you really think we're in the bear market, I assume you're not watching this video and you've already sold. If you think we're going into the bear market, there's still things you can do to help yourself out, right? We've talked about some of these before. No, it's not DCAing. If you think everything's going down to crap, it's not DCAing. But look to see where there is yields. Maybe it is, instead of selling stuff, you look at other assets that are dropping that your confidence can be more stable, like Bitcoin. For what it's worth, strategy, Michael Saylor, I think his average Bitcoin buy is around $73,000. Right? So as the absolute worst case, in my mind, it's not going to get down that far, even in a bear market, because I can't imagine strategy and several others are going to be taking that big of a loss from it. Again, economic crisis. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but I do think we're going to retrace and go back up, and maybe it will not be a full alt season where all the micro caps and everything go, and maybe it's just the top 100, top 50, top narratives. We'll end up finding out. I'm not making any changes to my bags right now. I think the risk versus reward isn't there for me, but I'm curious what you guys are doing. How are you guys mentally holding up? So let me know where you guys are. What are your thoughts? What are you doing? Are you still hanging around like I am? Let me know. We'll chat again soon. Peace.